Welcome to part 5 of the scenario project. In this part I will be adding an AI trigger. To add the AI trigger, first of all under the mission tab we need to hit, in this case, terrain objectives. Now as you can see, because we've got the show all here, we can see all the objectives. Now I want to use objective 15. Now my feelings are that for some of the plans, because they're going straight across, the likelihood is there might be occasions when the player will come across over the Dry River bed over on this side. And because we've got forces for the axis side along this tree line, it would seem reasonable that they would spot any troops trying to come across this flat area here. So we want to do a reaction move. So first of all, what I'm going to do is paint the area. So I'm going to boost it up a little bit, and I'm just going to use the whole of this open area as my trigger. There we go. Now you can see we've got occupy, known to both, points, etc. We want this to be a trigger, so we press on occupy and we scroll down to AI trigger enemy. I'm going to leave the objective name blank because I'm not interested in that at all. The next thing we do is we go to AI. Okay, now for testing purposes I only want to test this for the plan I've included it, which is for plan 1. So going from plan 2, I'm going to set this to not used, plan 3, not used, plan 4, not used, and finally plan 5. It hasn't removed those plans, they are still intact. All it means is that when I test this battle, it will only use plan 1 because that's the only one that's active. Looking at my list of units, I'm going to look at group 12, which is part of number 3 section over on the right flank. Now we can see that its final position is here, but I want it to react to that trigger, come across over here and then make its way through this small wooded area. So I want to add an order 3. Let's move that down to one size, and it was here, so I'm going to have it come at this point. And I want to do I can choose between doing an advance, but I want to quickly go across because I'm hoping that my troops, the rest of the section along this tree line here, will give some covering fire. Now at this point I'm going to make it clear to you how I'm doing this. I'm going to go back to order 2, and as you can see it's boosted up the exit between because I've added this extra order. So let's just hold shift key down and quickly come down. I'm going to come down all the way to 0 so that as soon as that is triggered it's going to be able to exit. Now I want to hit the wait for button. Come down here, objective 15, OK. So it's a bit confusing. All of this area is to do with actually triggering, I know that's the wrong term to use, the next order. So it's a little bit confusing, but you are saying down here, okay, if these conditions are met, execute the next order. So as we can see, we've got order 3 going down here. It's a quick command, and I want to move into the tree area here, so I'm going to add order 4. Advance is fine. And I'm going to go into it this far. So let's just come back to order 3, and you notice that the exit between has boosted up because I have this end line so high. Okay, so we'll just go through. So setup, order 2 makes a dash here, order 3, come down here, and order 4 advance here. So now that we've done this, we're going to test it to make sure it works. Now here we are on the map, and you may have noticed I've actually reduced the Russian forces down to effectively 1 platoon. This is because during testing I have found that they are very powerful with their machine guns. I've also reduced the amount of ammunition that they have, and I think I've gone a little bit too far. Anyway, let's just get this started rather than me gambling on. Just use a move to get these guys over here. I'm only going to use these. So in my testing I have found that I might have gone too far with the ammunition because they just run out before the end, and the German forces just overrun them. So I've got two choices: either increasing the amount of ammunition they've got available, or to possibly revive one of the other platoons and have that on a low amount of ammunition. Or I could add a second platoon, increase the ammunition, but reduce the numbers within the platoon. So there's various options that I'm thinking about, and I'll run a few tests on that. Still, let's just get this moving. Now I'm not using real time so that I can actually push up rather quickly, although I prefer we go anyway. But here we are in our position here, and it was 13, 12. Okay, and the reason why I'm just stopping like this is I want to make sure that 12 is not going to start at any point. So we're going to run through several turns just to prove that he's not going to move across. Okay, I'm now going to order my unit here to run across. Let's see what happens. Again, we'll just speed up. See, they're coming under a lot of fire. is okay, because I just wanted to prove that 12 isn't going to come across on his own. As you can see, here he goes. There is this funny sort of 1 minute extra delay I've found on triggers, which is annoying. So rushes across. And as I said, it's annoying, but you know, it might be a bug that's going to get fixed, or it could be just that we're in the sort of first phase of the introduction of AI triggers. So maybe things will be tidied up and get extra options going into the future. So now he should be coming across. Yeah, we've got that delay. And there they go, into the woods. So there you have it. It's a reactive trigger. So if I move if the player moves troops across onto this area, and we can see this trigger area because I've got this as scenario author test. But as I was saying, you see the troops moving across onto the trigger, then it's a reactive movement from group 12. And this is something I can do for other areas as well.